Welcome, guys. I wanted to have this discussion for a long period of time, and honestly, got to say that there was many problems around. There were many problems surrounding this bout, and some people are saying that it was a pure robbery. Others are saying that it was not a robbery, but overall, I heavily disagree with everything. And yeah. Yeah, man. I thought Petr actually won this fight. Now, many people gonna say whether some bouts were rigged or not, but in in this case, I mean, it's really obvious that it's really obvious that something else was the clean win for me, says Andrew. Well, for me, I was thinking that Jan won because of those takedown attempts, etc., and control time. But it's true that Sean O'Malley outlanded him in rounds one and round two. But the fact that Sean O'Malley didn't didn't have anything against those takedowns, and the fact that Sean O'Malley was unable to defend those takedown attempts and that control time, that kind of scares the shit out of me. I think it was very competitive fight, but there was a clear winner in Yan. Yan can control, but he doesn't hurt Sean. Yeah, I also think it was a very competitive fight. I also say, but you know what is the problem? 6 takedowns, 5.43. 5 minutes, 43 seconds of control time. And now the opinions are divided. I rewatched that fight like 10 times. I really rewatched the fight 10 times. So 3 a.m. here in Philippines. What time is yours? My time is 8 p.m. is my time. 8 p.m. Is my time. Three a.m. here. Yeah, I'm unsure, man. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh, I was rewatching that fight like numerous times, and round one was clean for Sugar Sean. Round one was very clean for Sugar Sean. It was so obvious Jan won. O'Malley hurt Jan one time, that was in the second round. I actually gave round one to Sean O'Malley, and I gave round two and round three to Petr Jan. That's how I scored the contest. And no matter the fact that yeah, round one was Jan's. I actually had different scorecards. I had O'Malley to win round one, and I had Jan winning other two rounds. But okay, I'd like to hear different opinions. I rewatched that fight like numerous times, and that control time goes that amount of damage on the ground. That was just too much for me, you know. He really held his opponent on the ground. You can't say he didn't because 5 minutes, 43 seconds of control time. That was a lot. That really was a lot, according to my mind. That really was a lot. I don't know. I feel Jan slightly more in the striking, and he also landed a significant slam in round one. He did more damage, bro. A lot of O'Malley's shots weren't clean, landing on the guard or bouncing off Jan's shoulders. Yeah, he did more damage. He made more damage. That's true. That's true. He defo made more damage. I defo agree with that. He defo made more damage, and he defo, according to my mind, it should have been clean 2-1. Yeah, a lot of strikes bounced off the shoulders, and There weren't many clean strikes, but I don't know why judges scored against Petr Yan. I mean, I'm telling that as a guy who loves sport. I don't care much about other things, etc. But as a judge, I would definitely give 2 rounds to Petr Yan. Not all 3. Casimero versus Akaho, make a prediction early soon. Thanks. Okay, when I have time, I will do it. As soon as I have time, I will make prediction. Truly to say, yes, I really much was thinking in that first round how many strikes were unclean on Sean's end. And literally, I rewatched the fight 5 times. Maybe that is just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, anything is possible. Maybe I'm making a mistake. But in round 1, there were some striking exchanges, and he did a lot. Also, people keep talking about Sean's 2 moments, but Jan answered back with nasty counters in both of the sequences. True. In round 1 and the 2, the Weasel broke it down. Round 3, Jan landed tons of ground and pound with control when it was even on the feet. Round 3 is definitely Jan's. Round 3 was definitely Jan's. Like, I've seen, if you watched Sugar Sean's Instagram, I don't know whether you watched it or not. Sean O'Malley's Instagram. He said round 1, better number of significant strikes, and round 3, better number of significant strikes. What about ground and pound? What about pinning your opponent to the canvas? What about answering big shots? Yeah, I've seen Weasel broke it down, and I agree with what Weasel wrote. I've seen that video, and that video, despite I'm not the greatest fan of Weasel, that video is pretty much on point. I heavily agree with everything he wrote. Exactly, but people keep saying Jan did all damage on the ground. No, he didn't do all damage on the ground. Jan was hitting him on the ground, but Sean O'Malley was having great scrambles. He showed great scrapping, and he was a very scrappy fighter. I mean, his scrapping was pretty much on point, and he was able to slip out of that. I told you, O'Malley has pretty much underrated Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And when it comes to scrapping, when it comes to evades, well, when it comes to evades, I have to say that he really did a great job here. He really did a great job when it comes to evading and when it comes to staying away from control and those things. He really did nicely. Nice job. Really was a nice job. Nice piece of play by Sean O'Malley. I do agree that Sean O'Malley really had great skills when it comes to getting ups. 6 takedowns means something, and on the get-ups, Sean was grabbing the cage a lot and also locking his fingers in Petr's gloved wrist. Yes, MMA Guru broke it down. MMA Guru broke it down nicely, and I've seen that the MMA Guru did a great job by showing that and by elaborating how Sean O'Malley was cheating. You're a better MMA Guru. Oh, thank you. And I've seen that he broke it down, that he was talking about how this guy was cheating, how he was grabbing wrist, and how he was grabbing the fence on the way up, which perfectly... Cheers, Protiush, thank you. Which perfectly makes sense in some points. When I rewatched the fight, wrist grab, yeah. Make sure to work on your get-up game, lad. We need to keep this fight with just on the feet. Absolutely, man. We have to keep it on the feet. I am working on my get-ups in my dojo, and I will work on cage. I will work cage drills on Wednesday, then GMP on Thursday, then on Friday. On Friday, I'm working on scrambles, and Saturday I have sparrings. I trained elbows today. Just to know, in the case you haven't noticed, I trained my elbows today. I was sharpening them a lot, so yes, I have to keep that fight on the feet by any means necessary, because as well as we know, it's a BJJ guy, and the BJJ guy will try to drag it to the ground. I mean, but I've got to say, hail to the king. He accepted the call out. I didn't expect he was going to accept, and that's awesome. That is really awesome. I like when people have balls. That's awesome. I like people who have balls. And honestly, in that fight, also MMA Guru made a great video how Sean O'Malley was cheating for 13 out of 15 minutes. No way Jesse's training as hard as the Bulgarian cowboy. Yeah, I'm training very hard. Very, very hard. Today I was sharpening elbows for like an hour and a half. His testosterone replacement therapy won't save him. No, it won't. No, it won't. You see me? I look very much normal, you see? I don't have big muscles. I'm Nate Diaz type of guy. See? I don't know whether you see it. Look. I'm Nate Diaz type. See? I don't have big muscles. I don't have big muscles at all. I'm like Nate Diaz. That's just a lie. They have no argument besides that to say O'Malley somehow won. They literally lie about what happened because they can't say anything else. That's true. That is pretty much an argument on point. Either 2-3 Jan, either 2-1 Jan or 3-0 Jan in a competitive fight. I say 2-1 Jan in a competitive fight. Like, it would be hard for me to give him all 3 rounds. It would be very, very hard for me to give him all 3 rounds because round 1, I told you, I watched it 4 or 5 times. Every single time I gave it to O'Malley. But other 2 rounds, clean victory. Clean victory for Petr Jan. Crazy cowboy of Bulgaria. Oh, thank you, Thomas. 2-1 Jan at the very least. Exactly, bro. Half of those dudes don't even understand MMA scoring. Should be 3-0. 3-0 is also acceptable to me. 3-0 is also acceptable. I just say that I gave round 1 to Sean O'Malley. But again, other 2 rounds, there's no way he won 2 and 3. I know Balako very good. How can help you? Please write. Oh, thank you so much, Thomas. You know Balako very well. You know Krasimir Balakov in person? Really? He was one of the best soccer players, one of the best Bulgarian soccer players the world has ever seen. That was Krasimir Balakov. I didn't know that you know him in person, man. What do you think Jan does next? Maybe Jan Merab. Jan Merab is a fight to make. If you ask me, Jan versus Merab is a fight to make. For me, that would be Jan versus Merab, definitely. That's how I see the next fight coming. That's how I see the next fight coming up, happening, going on. And Jan versus Merab would be a very, very competitive fight. Even way more competitive than Sean O'Malley versus Petr Jan. And Jan versus Merab, that's a fight to make for sure. I mean, Merab is a beast, Jan is a beast. Jan Merab, Sean Chito too. Sean Chito too, yes. Cejudo Aljo. I don't know whether Cejudo is going to return, so as long as when he returns, we can discuss about Cejudo. If he doesn't return, I can't discuss that. Balakov, his Germany wife, is the best friend of my mother. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. If you know Balakov, oh, write to him, please. I'm a big fan of his. Write to him. I didn't know that they are friends. Yeah, I know he has. I know he has a wife from Germany. I know that, but I didn't know that you are in such a great relations. I know that he has German wife. That's outstanding, man. That's outstanding, man. I really love that fact. That's awesome. I also would love Font versus Yanis. That's a great fight. Fight of knockout artists. It was robbery for sure, says UK Vid. I agree. Yes, bro, he came to my house always. That's awesome, man. That is outstanding. Please send him my regards. Krasimir Balakov used to be one of our best soccer players. I think he was wearing jersey number 19. I believe number 19. He was wearing number 19, as much as I can remember. He used to be one of our best soccer players. Thoughts on Wellington Turman versus Andre Petrovsky? I think that fight will go into round 3. But if I must pick a side, it's tricky, man. It's tricky. Petrovsky side, Turman was having ups and downs. If I must pick a side, should it be in 50-50? But I believe they're going to give edge to Turman. On the other side, Petrovsky can submit you early on. You never know with Petrovsky. Like, this is one of the fights I would gladly pass. I would gladly not bet on that fight, if you ask me. I would gladly skip that fight, and I would gladly pick some. I would gladly pick some other fight instead. If you ask me, I would stay away from that fight when it comes to betting aspect of the game. I like Thurman plus 170. Well, if I must pick a side, I would definitely lean Thurman because he's a favorite. But for me, sorry, he is the underdog. But this is a 50-50 fight to me. Krasimir is a great person. He gave me his training suits. Love him. That's awesome, man. That's fucking awesome. Send him my massive regards. My massive regards to Krasimir Balakov. I know who is Krasimir Balakov, man. I know very well who is Krasimir Balakov. The Bulgarian former soccer player. I don't know what is he doing now, but man, he used to be a great midfielder. Yeah, Krasimir Balakov. He used to be a great midfielder. Man, we need to come to him. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's go. That would be awesome. That would really be awesome, Thomas. That would really be awesome. He is in Varna? I don't know whether he is in Varna. I live in Belgrade. I don't know where Krasimir Balakov lives. Really have no idea. I know he used to play in Germany, but I don't know where he lives now. I'm going to check which city is he coming from. Hold on, Krasimir Balakov. Krasimir Balakov. Is he? Now he is a Bulgarian football manager. Whoa. Let me see. Place of birth, Veliko Tarnovo, Bulgaria. Attacking midfielder. Yeah, place of birth, Veliko Tarnovo. Where is he living now? Man, where is this guy living now? Krasimir Balakov. I don't know where he lives now. Got no idea. New manager of Petr Veliko Tarnovo, alongside Kalajan Chakarov. New manager of Bulgarian national football team. Parted ways with CSKA. Yeah, he used to live in Sofia back then. Yeah, it says he parted ways with CSKA Sofia in June 2021. I don't know where is he now. I think so. He was in Split, Croatia, but there was a lot of regarding mafia. Yes, I know. There was some weird story about that. I know there was some very much weird story about that. He was born in Veliko Tarnovo. That's a city in central Bulgaria. That's a city with the cleanest Bulgarian language. That's Veliko Tarnovo. That's where he was born, in that great city of Veliko Tarnovo. And he used to be a manager of Bulgarian national team. He used to be a manager of CSKA 1948. That's a club from the center. That's a club from Sofia. There are two clubs in Sofia that are pretty much popular. It's CSKA Sofia and it's Levski Sofia. And he used to be a manager of CSKA. I don't know. He's from Veliko Tarnovo. I lived in Varna for 3 months, but I lived in Varna like 3-4 years ago. I lived for 3 months in Varna, and it used to be a nice time. It was a great time back there. No, I was feeling pretty much alive when I lived there. People are different. They don't give a fuck about what you do. Nobody gives a fuck. And they're like, they just want to party. They just want to have fun. They don't give a fuck about what are you doing, etc. Nice, cowboy. Yeah, I'm just saying that people don't give a shit. I like those people. People who don't mind much and who don't care much about that breakdown, that aspect of the game. You can do whatever you want, and they're like, just let this guy go. We don't give a fuck. Oh, thank you, Thomas. That's something that therefore helps me a lot because I like when people don't give a fuck about anything. That's something that kind of inspires me in the first place. All the inspirations, everything that comes alongside with it. When people don't give a fuck, that's the best. That really is the best. And like in Serbia, everybody messes with everybody. Everybody wants to know what the other guy is doing, which is kind of annoying. But again, if you're successful, they think that you are, and then if you're not successful, they don't like you. It's annoying. But in Bulgaria, they really didn't give a fuck. They didn't much give a fuck about what was happening. Try to give us together a chance. Give me a try. Okay. Give it a shot, man. Please connect me to Krasimir if possible. I would really like to get into a connection with Krasimir. I mean, that would be awesome. Yeah, that would be awesome. A voice of Krasimir Balakov would be awesome. My Bulgarian is not the best right now, but we can speak in English. My German is so. So, yeah, I can also. I understand everything, but when I need to speak, I'm having some problems. But that would be awesome. That would be fucking awesome, man. Because I didn't grow up in Bulgaria, but if I spend like 1 year in Bulgaria, I would speak fluently. So yeah, give us together. Give us a shot, man. Give us a shot, please. That would be outstanding. Go for it. Please give it a shot. Please try it out. You never know. Maybe luck is going to. Maybe we are going to have luck this time. That is excellent, my man. Yo, my man. Yo, my man. That is brutally good. If I would get into contact with such a legend of Bulgaria, that would be outstanding. That would really be outstanding. At least for me in the first place, that would have been outstanding. And me, if you ask me, yeah, about this fight, just to mention, in this fight, I do believe that Sugar Sean O'Malley didn't win that fight. That's all I'm gonna say. I will speak for 5 more minutes as I need to do some Cage Warriors breakdown later. So I won't be going live for a prolonged period of time. And tomorrow I'm gonna do classic predictions, breakdowns. I'm gonna do classic videos just like I always make, and that's something that's definitely going to help me go through this period. And yeah, I don't plan to surrender, my guys. You know that I don't plan to surrender. You know that I'm not a guy who's gonna back down, because backing down, it makes no sense to me. Why would I back down? I'm here to battle it out. I'm here to fight, and I'm here to stay for you, you know. He is a soy boy, and everyone knows he lost probably 25% of fans at most. Actually think he won. Now NATO like to kick me out. I'm back. Oh, let's go. I'm also a member of NATO. Bulgaria all the way. He's a soy boy. Yeah, you're right. He's a soy boy, pretty much. Pretty much a soy boy. You are defo right about that. And soy boy, yes. Sean O'Malley didn't win that fight. We all know that. At least 2-1 according to my scorecards. I've got nothing against 3-0 in a very competitive fight. I really got nothing. But pinning your opponent to the ground, landing big ground and pound shots, and taking a look at the fight early on, that's something that gives wings to majority of us. And I mean, you can rob people as much as you want, but they say close fights are not robberies. Well, close fights are not robberies, but this was not a close fight. This was a competitive fight. You know, there is a difference between a competitive fight and a close fight. And competitive fight, that's something different. You know, competitive fight is not the same like close fight, because it was a competitive fight and it was not a close fight. That's something I need to say. I'm a bit disappointed about Young. He had not a good plan. Well, he didn't have a good plan. Also in round 1, I was very much surprised because he tried to stand and bang with Sean O'Malley, knowing that Sean O'Malley is the best striker in the division. I mean, Sean O'Malley is vulnerable to ground game, to pinning to the ground, etc. I mean, his BGG is decent, pretty much underrated, but that was the hole, you know. That was the hole in his game plan. And if you ask me, it should have gone differently. It should have definitely gone differently. Like, why would you stand and bang with a guy like like Sean O'Malley? Does it make sense? No, it doesn't. Why would you stand and bang with a guy like Sean O'Malley? That's insanity, at least to me in the first place. That's insanity. A pure insanity. Sean is really dangerous. Yes, he is. Sean O'Malley is really dangerous. I have to agree with that. I have to agree with you on that aspect of the game. He's very dangerous in the stand-up, and we've seen him piecing up Chris Moutinho. We've seen him demolishing majority of other guys. And Sean O'Malley only lost to Chito Vera because of that calf kick that paralyzed him. He proved it, yeah. He proved it against many high-level strikers. So his striking is top-notch. There's no dilemma about that, but his center of gravity is pretty much high, so and you're having a high center of gravity. So Jan got the win in that sense. Now the public believes he won, and Sean has real loss on his record. Well, yeah. He proved it true. Yeah, that's the way it happened. That's the way it happened. That's the way how it went, and we can't do anything to prove it differently. That's when judges rob, they rob, but their decision is final as well as their decisions are final, and that's how it's gonna play out in the first place. Jan officially won that fight, but close fight, kinda. Competitive fight, yes. Victory for Sean O'Malley, no way. It can't be a victory for Sean O'Malley. There's no way it can be a victory for Sean O'Malley. I would never back that theory up. No matter what happens, I would never back that theory up. And honestly, I've never been the great fan of Jan, but I really think he won that fight. I would dare to say that he won that fight fair and square. Yeah, I would definitely say that he won that fight fair and square. So, yes, clean win. Alright, guys, now I have to go. I have to do some upcoming predictions for Cage Warriors etc. and Otis is waiting for me, so now I have to go. And I will catch you later. Tomorrow I will do a long stream for UFC as I normally do etc. So I will announce the time. So there is a victory for Jan in that sense, so people recognize his victory. It's a win for him overall, loss for O'Malley. Everyone thinking he lost. Yeah. Okay. Catch you later. I will make premiere later for Cage Warriors. We'll see how everything plays out. And tomorrow making a normal video, like discussion about the UFC. I would stay more, but like I have another job and it's literally killing me. So have to go now. Catch you later.